Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to create a basic CRUD application with Laravel and Vue.js. We'll use Laravel for the back end and Vue.js for the front end. We will be creating a simple contact management system with Laravel. So here's the first installation of Laravel. So in this tutorial, I'm assuming you have some basic knowledge in Laravel and Vue.js because I won't be going over from the scratch. So let's start. So first of all, let's set up our app.js file, which you can find in the resources and assets app.js. So let's set that up. And also, before you start, I would like you to have run npm install so you can see the node modules folder. And I also installed Vue router and vuex because we'll be using that in this project. So let's go on the app.js file. So first of all, import Vue router and vuex. Vuex, then we import Vue router. From Vue router. When that's done, so let's create a new component to test the Vue router. So a new file, let's call it all contact.vue. I'll copy from here, not a good practice, but to save time. We want to test to see if Vue router is working well. Just name it for the meantime. So now in app.js we have to import these components that we just created. Components. Also create. Let's import the other one so that we'll see the Vue router in action very well. Okay, we need to register vuex and Vue router. So how do we vue.use Vue router. After that is done, we need to create our routes. This is how we create the routes. There's going to be a single page application. That's the first one. We'll create another one for the example. This is just to see if view router is working very well. Okay, that's done. Constants router then we'll register it here. When that's done, to display it in the web, it will be looking for, as you can see, it will be looking for this app ID, an ID of app. So this is where we'll do that. Remove all this. This is the welcome.blade file. So this is where we'll put all the components. And how to render it? Render with router view. So let's run php artisan self and npm install. Npm run watch. So let's wait for that to compile. And I forgot to, while it's compiling, we need to add the app.css files and app.js files. As this file and this one, because that's where the compiled files will be situated. So let's do that. Oh, we have an error. We have an error. Let me see what's. Okay, instead of, we made a mistake, a typo. It might be all contacts, not all contacts. Another error. What was it this time? Okay, so it's all contacts. I keep making this mistake. Compiling correctly. So where were we? I said we were meant to add the scripts, these files. Okay, we are meant to add this JS and CSS files. So this is how we do it. As a JavaScript, then we have to add the CSS too. Assets, CSS, okay, that's done. let me rename this one. So let's see if it's working. When we go to the slash route, it should load the all contact components, and when we go to the example slash example, it should load the example component. So let's see if that's working. Let me see, have we saved it? I think so, yes. Okay, you can see these all contact components, and when we go to slash example, is the example components. So you can see that the view router is working well. So after that's done, okay, when you load your page, you might have this error, CSRF token not found. How do you resolve that? We have to import, there's a line of code we have to put. That's this, is a meta tag. So when you put that, that error disappears. Let's see. Okay, let's set up our vuex. Let's set up our vuex. So we create a new file, store.js, the default. So for it will have states, we have getters, we have mutations, and last to have actions. So that's it. Then we have to import it over here too. Let's call it store data from. To import that, we have to register it also. I'm sorry, I made a mistake there. Okay, I made a mistake. So to register it, you say const, call it store. So that's it. Then we'll put it, we'll register it here also. Okay, that's done. So let's configure our database. We haven't done that, so we'll call we'll call it contacts. Contacts. Let's call it contact system, so that it won't clash. My username is root, and I don't have a password. So we need to run phpets and save again, since we edited the env file. So let's create this database contact system. So let's create the database contact system. So this is it. Create. It has been created. So let's create a model and a migration for the contacts. So we do it like this: PHP artisan make model contacts and migration. So let's go to the migration file. So we need 3 more fields. Name, address, phone number, and email. So we are done with that. Let's edit the model, contact model. And what this means is that it should mass assign all the fields. Okay, let's wait for it to. So let's migrate the database. PHP artisan migrate. Okay, this error all the time. Let me fix that. Okay, so I edited my app service provider.php file so that to be able to migrate. I added these 2 lines, this one, then and this, so that to migrate properly. So let's migrate. We've migrated, so you can see the tables it has created for us. Yes, without typing, without coming here at all. So let's insert some data in it. James stays in first stack. Email. Phone number 1, 2. Let's add another one. Added those 2 data. So let's see it. So these are the 2 records. So now to fetch them, how do we do that? That will be in the all contact components. So to fetch the records. So before we fetch the records, let's create the route first. The route that we used to get all the records. So we'll do that here. Let's copy from here. So when we go to all contacts, we'll create that now at all. So let's create the contact controller. We created that, and to be looking for a method called all in the contact controller. So let's create that method. Public function all, and we have to use the contact model. So to fetch all the records, we'll do like this. So fetch all the records from the database. Then we'll be returning a JSON. So in the front end, all contacts, when we load these components, we want it to make an access call to the back end. Let's console out the response. Let's console log it. See what it brings out. So let's test that. So you can see what it returns. Returning two records. So that's done. I would like us to store the response in vuex, since we are using it. So how do we'll do that like this. This dot because we registered it, that's why we can use this $sign store. Commit all contacts. So we'll do it. So we go to the store, commit a mutation. Sorry, we have to give it payload. First, let's create this all contacts variable here, and it's be empty by default. So this is state dot all contacts equals to payload. And get us return state dot all contacts, and that's it. Then in the front end we have to get that. We're using a computed property. Then we have to look through this all contacts that we are receiving. We'll look through it. So let's take this away. Let's just show the names, only the names first. How do we look through it? We use v4. Is a key. Let's display the name first, and let's see if it works. So let's test that. Oh, state is not defined. Error. Sorry. Okay, so we didn't put state here, so we have to put it in the getters. So that's the initial work. Wow, so it's working. We can see the two names, Jane and Freddy. So let's check the view component, the view DevTools. So you can see the computed has two records. The first one, the second one. You can see the view X-store, the getter states mutations. So we'll stop here and we'll continue in the next video. Thank you very much for watching.